All right. Peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. Welcome to another episode of Taylor House Publishing. If you are just coming in or if you are new to the channel, please let me know where you coming in from. Give us a what's up or a thumbs up in the chat. Let me share this real quick.
I take it every single day.
There's somebody, yeah. So y'all give us a thumbs up, and so what we have here tonight is a special show. I haven't actually done a live in a while, so I decided to do this one live. We was gonna record it, but the brother said we should go live. Now, this is a group that I think a lot of people have heard of. Peace. I have heard of, but really don't know much about. So I decided to bring some of the brothers on from the NFAC. And if you're familiar with this group, they've been prominent since about, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, since about 2017, 18. And they've been instrumental in addressing a lot of the issues that we've been seeing as far as, injustices, police misconduct, community policing, community protection, and the like. So I'm glad to have our brothers here, Commander Bishop, General Hot Sauce, Lieutenant Commander Corporal, and you see his name. We got Falcon. Of course, I am Richard Taylor. So I'm going to give you all the floor because I know there's a few issues that you guys want to address. And once again, it's a pleasure and honor to speak with y'all. And so if one of y'all want to give the people brief overview of who the NFAC is and, what's your goal, what you guys have been doing, some of the things that are going on within the organization that, people don't know about, and, so forth and so forth. I know, the founder, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. John Fitzgerald Johnson, is going through some legal issues. So I know you guys want to touch on that. So without further ado, you guys can, introduce yourself and the group and, give the people some information. We got about 50 people in here. Shout out to all 50 of y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining us on this short notice.
Shalom.
Chip, go ahead, Bishop.
Yeah, shalom, everybody. Greetings to everybody here this evening. These are some of the commanders and generals of the NFAC here. We wanted to come live just as a community outreach. Most of you all know exactly who we are, our history. Like Brother Taylor said, the concept of it coming out in 2017 and really stepping out in 2020 for our brother Ahmaud Arbery. Going forth to Stone Mountain to answer the calls of the KKK, standing up in Louisville for our sister Breonna Taylor, standing up in Washington, D.C. During the March on Washington, and then standing up in Lafayette, Louisiana, for Brother Trayford Pellerin in our formations. We're a Second Amendment-based organization where, per the laws and statutes of the United States of America and our Constitution, we're a militia for the Black community.
Okay. Now when they use that word or when people hear that word militia, it kind of sort of brings, I guess, a negative connotation because we all hear about white militias. First thing we hear about white militias is KKK, Lord Your White Knights, the guys up in the hills waving the flag. So how does your definition of that word differ from that connotation that I just mentioned?
Well, militias are as American as apple pie, and what militias are, that's why they're spelled out in the Constitution, not just in the Second Amendment, but through the articles of the Constitution. a militia was put up. You have an organized militia, your National Guard, your State Guard, but then you have your unorganized militias that either the government could call on for help, or the community could call on for help. And it wasn't just about the weapons and formations. It was about, for example, if there was a hurricane and you needed help in getting help to people, like what happened in North Carolina, in Western North Carolina. We've engaged in missions in during hurricanes in 2021, for example.
Okay.
I know my some of my comrades may want to address that as well.
Definitely. Yeah, and I see people in the chat. I hear you. Think that's Pastor Doom. Whatever. Why does it have to be different? We need whatever they got to. Somebody said no, it don't, because we can legally form a militia against the government. Okay. Yeah. Y'all are right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, appreciate you. Yeah.
It's in essence, it's the same. It's for the same exact purpose, to protect your community and protect yourself from those. When the government can't protect you, it's your responsibility to protect yourself. And we do it in a military type organized manner that is lawful and legal. What we're doing is completely lawful and legal. And
Okay.
we're utilizing the laws of our country and the laws of our state to express ourselves. Our First Amendment and our Second Amendment.
Okay. And so many people, I guess, when I first spoke to you all, I was, I was under the impression, like many people, that you guys have somewhat kind of faded away, because I remember when, once again, 2017, 18, 19, you guys were real prominent. Everybody, everybody was kind of talking about you guys, but now lately, I knew you guys are still doing things, because actually, I was accompanied by a few of your comrades on our trip to Mississippi. And you guys protected us down there when we were going to the various cities, seeking justice for families and exercising, our quest for justice. So I know personally, but, I guess, could you speak on that as far as, not being as visible as you have in the past, and how does that translate into still performing the work that you guys do?
I'll speak on that real quick.
Yeah, please.
I got you. We have not been visible. It's very simple. You don't always have to be seen to do the work. We don't do this for publicity. We don't do this for, we don't do this for the gram or anything like that. We do it because there's things that need to be done, and we have volunteered ourselves to do certain things. Now, from a tactical perspective, you're looking at some outside forces that are conspired against us. I'll just leave it at that. So yes, we have done what, in the military, what we call a tactical retreat, which is basically we step back to a safe position and start observing the things that are going on around us, so we know where our next advance needs to be. There's some things that we are looking to do here in the very near future, in a more out front, very visible way, and you guys will be hearing about that sooner rather than later. But as far as us not being around, just because you don't see us, don't mean we're not here.
Definitely.
And that's what I try to tell people all the time. You could be sitting right next to someone from the NFAC and have no clue.
Exactly. And, I appreciate y'all, because like I said, I never felt so safe going down to Mississippi. And, we had the brothers from the NFAC, the New Black Panther Party, the Hugh P. Newton Gun Club, Geronimo Pratt Gun Club, all those. Now, are you guys affiliates with them, or, are you guys, kind of working in conjunction in certain areas, or?
It's for the upliftment of Black people, our brothers in arms. Do we do a lot of things together with them, whether it be certain missions? We do some, not all the time. They have their agenda, we have our agenda, but when the coalition needs to come together, For example, like Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery or Trey Pelham. When the coalition needs to come together, everybody puts their agenda to the side, and the coalition comes together, and that's everybody. When you went, if you saw the march that we did in Louisville, that was not just NFAC. There was members of a bunch of different organizations there that were supporting, because that was the coalition. It was everybody. It wasn't just NFAC members. It was members of a lot of different groups that were there. So we are in constant communication with a lot of these groups. We do discuss, joint ventures that we can do, and that we're looking to pull off. But everybody has their own thing that they want to do, and it's understandable. As long as it's for the upliftment of black, we don't look down on them for whatever they're doing. Just understand that when it's time for us as a people to come together and move forward as one, we need to be able to do that. Just like the other groups will mobilize as one, despite whatever their differences internally are. We have to be able to do the same.
Yes. Now it's funny because I had a brother call me today. He was from where
Mhm.
I'm at in North Carolina. And, I told him, I said, I was supposed to be talking to the brothers tonight. And he said, well, man, yeah. He said, you know what they do? Is there any way that they can start a chapter down here? Now, what does that look like as far as, becoming a member or, starting chapters, if that's what it's called? Or, how could, once again, I guess he sees what's going on. So he wants to be proactive in having a quote unquote militia of like-minded guys like yourself. So what does that actually look like? If you can expound upon that.
You have chapters in a lot of places already. You just may not know that they're there. So the first thing he would want to do is reach out and Bishop. I just drew a
Yeah,
blank on
yeah.
what's the
He
what's
can
the
reach out.
email?
Yeah, I think the best way, since you already know him, is connect him with us, and we
Yeah.
can take it from there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if he's up in did you say North Carolina?
Yeah,
If
North
he's up
Carolina.
that way, we'd be glad to talk to him. Be happy to talk to him. But basically, where as people may understand, where this isn't fun and games. This is serious work. Most of us are older. We're established. We have families. We
Just
work.
mhm.
We're upstanding members of the community. Like Lieutenant Commander Corporal Kickass said, you may be standing next to one of us and you won't even know it, a man or woman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're in positions of an elected office. We're all over the place. A lot of us are former military. A bunch of us aren't. But the thing that we have in common is the support for our communities, that the ethos and the ability to defend our community, and the seriousness that comes up with that. We're not going to be doing a bunch of we'll protect your right for your First Amendment to march and to chant. No problem with that. But that's not what we do.
Okay.
Our job is a bit different.
Okay. More tactical, more strategic.
More tactical and strategic on a big picture.
I'll put it to you this way: when you look at other organizations that go out there and they protest by marching and signs and yelling at police, they ultimately get tear gassed. They get tear gas, pepper sprayed, rubber bullets, hoses, all that stuff. We've never had that problem. Why do you think that might be? Because we not only exercise our First Amendment, we exercise our Second Amendment
Okay.
rights, and we
All
do
right.
it in a legal way. And 99% of the law enforcement officers in this country will recognize, okay, they're exercising their first and their second. So we are going to treat them differently than we would treat someone who's just exercising their first.
I
And
saw
and
that.
and
Go
we'll
ahead.
tell you this, and I'm sure you saw this as well. I remember you discussing it when you went down to Mississippi. Those folks may not like it, but damn it if they won't respect it.
They did.
And
Exactly.
respect and like is two totally different things.
Yeah.
They're
You'd be
gonna
surprised.
they
You'd be
will
surprised the
they will
number of
respect
police
you.
officers. You'd be surprised the number of police officers that say, "I respect what y'all doing." You
Yeah.
get that a lot.
Because it was actually a situation where a young lady, she was emotional talking to the police, and the police was kind of getting emotional back, and my young brother stepped right in front of him and the sister, and the police was like, well, you ain't got to step right here like that, but it won't no get out my face type deal. It was like, you ain't got to step right there, but I saw the level. It was a different level of respect than just people out there like, we tired of y'all, It was like all right, we gotta listen. Okay, let's be civil about this.
Yeah.
Dr.
And
John
what
Fitzgerald Johnson, Dr. John Fitzgerald Johnson always say, "Power respects power. Power won't talk to
It's good
someone
when
something that's less
you
than it."
can meet. Yeah, y'all, we back. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
good when you can meet a equal force, with equal force. So, but I do got to talk about. I guess this is one of the issues that I think that was urgent on y'all agenda. And I hear they talking about Carmelo Anthony. So I got to bring that up. But so one of the issues I think that you had mentioned was some false information that has been spread about the founder, Dr. John Fitzgerald Johnson, aka Grandmaster Jay.
yes.
So if you guys want to speak on that, and some of the things that people might have a misconception on, feel
Say
free.
this. I'm gonna say this real quick, and then Bishop, feel free to jump in here. There is only one channel that is Grandmaster Jay's channel, and that's the channel that says the official Grandmaster Jay. No other channel on YouTube that claims to be Grandmaster Jay is actually Grandmaster Jay. So y'all need to understand that. There's only one channel that's Grandmaster Jay's channel. It's the official Grandmaster Jay.
And
Okay. Then there's our channel that's
the
NFAC 444.
yes. And we'll
Yeah.
have
So
somebody put that in the chat.
yeah, somebody will put that in the chat. So understand, those are the only two official channels that are the NFAC. Now we do have a bunch of social media and people on YouTube who help get our information out, and Bishop will address who those people are. But those are the only people who actually have the legitimate information for NFAC. Anything else you might hear, like for example, I heard that Grandmaster Jay had passed, and it was coming from someone who was claiming to be his wife. Grandmaster Jay is not married. Grandmaster Jay has not passed. Grandmaster Jay is alive and well. He's behind the wall, but he has not passed. So all this other crazy stuff that I'm hearing, Grandmaster Jay is in Africa living it up like a king. No, he's not. He's behind the wall in Kentucky.
Okay, and is that a federal charge? And if y'all can speak about it, because like I said, I heard about it a little bit, but before talking to y'all, I got a better understanding. But if y'all care to, or if y'all can speak about the circumstances behind this, or contributing to his incarceration, if y'all
Yeah,
can.
I'll
Bishop.
speak to that at a very high level. Um, from our view and millions of people's view, he was unjustly incarcerated on a charge of brandishing and assaulting federal officers. Arrested 3 months after they said he did it, which seemed to be doctored footage from the night before the what we call the Louisville um, the the a formation in Louisville, excuse me, the Kentucky Derby formation we call it.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was sentenced per the Joe Biden crime bill. That's why he got 7 years.
Yep.
Most of us were in the courtroom, and when you saw the judge, you could tell the judge didn't want to give him that time. You could
Right.
literally see
Said
it
it.
on his face.
Yeah,
The
we heard
judge
it.
said I don't want to give you this time, but I have no choice, but I have to give you 7 years.
Why do you have to?
Because of the Biden crime bill. The Biden crime bill
Yes.
is law.
That
So
94
you
crime bill.
get
Yeah.
automatically 7 years if you are convicted of what they call insulting or impeding a federal officer. That was
Now,
a way of locking up our folks if they were able to trump up charges based on the Biden crime bill.
so let me ask you, what was the exact act that they said he did? Because I think you explained that to me before.
Assaulting, assaulting and impeding a federal law enforcement officer. They were on the roof. They were on the roof. He shined a flashlight at the roof attached to his rifle because there were snipers on the roof. At that time, everybody who was in Louisville at 2020 knows exactly what was going on. Nothing happened. Police actually came out and greeted him because he was coordinating with the police on all the formations. 3 months later, 60 law enforcement officers break down his door and arrest him. 60. And then put the cone of silence over the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because so do you think that was why do you think that happened? Was it like political? Was he gaining too much traction? Was he,
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you why it happened. They saw what was coming next. What was coming next from Grandmaster Jay? We had done a bunch of successful formations. What was coming next was a demonstration of a nation within a nation. So a demonstration of a black nation. Grandmaster Jay called it the million guns march.
Gun
So it was
formation.
what,
They mean 1
yeah,
million gun formation.
yeah. So it was one of those things where it was going to be a demonstration of the black nation. In order to get, let me go here. You can't get reparations from yourself. You
Right.
have to be your own independent country before you can get reparations. If we sue the federal government for reparations, we're just suing ourselves. We can't do that. They're never going to give it to you. So you have to go through the UN, demonstrate that you are a nation being held against your will with inside this nation. Only then can you sue the federal government for reparations. That's the path that Grandmaster Jay was going on. The demonstration of the nation, to file with the United Nations to say, yes, there is a whole black nation trapped with inside of the United States that needs reparations. That's the only way that you can get reparations. All these other fly by night plans that people are talking about is crazy. Makes zero sense legally or logically.
now
So
Yeah,
somebody
that's what was happening.
let me just jump in real quick, Commander Corporate Kickers.
But
Thank you, brother Taylor, what you're doing. Yeah, reparations paid by nation or country. It's not reparations not paid by citizens. Okay, so you had to have at least a country or nation for you to start a claim of reparation. You cannot just go over there, single union or group of people and say, hey, we want to get paid. Let's go fight this paperwork. It doesn't work that way, you know. So that's exactly what it was in the process with the 1 million gap formation. He's supposed to be do the demonstration of the population, and they saw what it was coming. All these formation was very successful. You know, we was prepared. And it's not like we was. We're gonna have to continue to be prepared with the situations going on uh, in the entire country right now. I just want to say this to everybody on your show, and that's gonna be in the records. Okay, we cannot just wait if something happened to one of the family member, to the neighbors, or to the loved one, and then you wanna start getting reaction. We have about 54 million black people or American Africans in the United States. We have a lot, we have the coalition. We created this coalition, NFAC, is to support all the melanated people. As you already know, if you don't want to be part of this, at least we got a lot of things going on. It take a lot of logistics for us to move a brigade or battalion to different states. The way the things look right now with the situation, the president signed a lot of executive orders. So we had to be very careful and prepare ourselves what is going to be happening. And you see things happening in Texas, happening Ohio, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, all these states, they're going to start hitting us hard. And if we're not prepared ourselves, we cannot be dependent on 9111. That's the enemy that we call it. So we had to figure out how do we gonna be organize ourselves. If something happen, we have the logistics, we know how to pull up, and we know how to protect our people. In 2025, we're gonna have to do better. All the coalition, we're gonna have to sit down and talk to the coalition. What can we do to help these states? Because things doesn't looking too good on the outside right now. And I saw one of the show you cover, Brother Taylor. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I mean, I really love what you're doing. Trust me, you got all our support. I saw there was a show you did about these sisters. You have a land in Georgia, and somebody put a fire in the land. So we don't want these folks just to sit down and relax. It doesn't mean you can buy land, right? Don't sit down. Figure out what's militia, which organization, which gun club is in your region, and talk to them to protect your land, to help you. If something popping out of your land, you have 50 acres. You're not going to be able to cover all the land. You need to give right away to the brothers or to the sisters.
Okay,
And
and
people,
that's where
we all distraught. People buying land, they go sit down, relax. Oh, I got a 100 acres. I'm gonna tell you, the enemy. If you look at the history, the enemy have a skill how to steal our stuff. They know how to do that. They're training. They prepare themselves. They never work hard like we do. We work so hard to get our sheep, and they come by and they steal from us.
so someone said because you said I know what's been going on. It seems like it's been going on for a long time. But someone
Mhm.
called me today and said that the president signed something like martial law in the black community. Have you guys heard of anything like that?
I
Or
heard that before. I heard 2 days ago.
I haven't heard
but
anything about that.
I haven't heard it. But so how are y'all in any way concerned about that?
Well, I think to zoom out just a little bit is we need to be very careful as a people and as a community how we move. Do not let your emotions react, because right now there's a lot of provoking going on. And to be quite honest with you, what a lot of people don't realize is martial law was already halfway enacted through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, a lot of that stuff was not rolled back. And what martial law is, it's not just a switch and you say there's troops on the street. It's a series of things that need to happen. And when you look at what's happening right now, and the fact that when a president can say, "Hey, hey, Department of Justice, hey, Department of Defense, hey, Department of Justice, figure out a way I can use the military inside the United States," he's telling you what he's going to do. So now, where that would be is it would be in the urban areas, but it would affect absolutely everybody. But there'll be a strike, there'll be a match that lights that off. The key is don't let yourself get baited into that to be the
Okay.
match that does that. Be very
Right.
smart about you do and how you move. And I wanted to, and Commander Falcon, you've been here, kind of watching quietly. Love for you to chime in with us.
Oh, okay, always. Y'all know that. Like I said, we all got to work together and get this. We can get this thing done and watch. If they did martial law, we have to protect ourselves. Donald. I call him Donald Duck, but Donald Donald Trump. He got his way of trying to stop the black man, the black woman. For he wants to take everything away from us. He wants to take our books away. He wants to take our people away. He wants to allow the police to go and start shooting black people at will. Our thing is we got to come together. We got to organize together, because if we don't, we will fight against each other. And we got to stop just fighting against each other. We got to stop that. So my
Let me speak. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
okay. My thing is one thing Supreme always told us. We play chess, not checkers. In
Mm-hmm.
chess, you got pieces. Everybody got a job. Everybody has a position, and they all move in a right righteous position. to take care of what they need to do.
Let me speak on that executive order you were talking about.
Yes, sir.
President Trump, what he did was the executive order was basically stating that local and state law enforcement can maximize the use of federal resources to help improve officer pay, officer training, to strengthen legal protections against being sued by people that get shot by police, um, and to looking for tougher sentences on crime. So it wasn't complete. Let's lock down everything. It was him saying, yeah, yes, now state and local officials can now utilize the federal government more in whatever they're doing. Also giving them access to more military surplus weaponry.
Right.
That's another thing that executive order did.
Okay.
So as far as being concerned about that at this moment,
Yeah.
I'm not so much concerned about it at this moment. I'm more concerned with the fact that our people have not, you know, our people are divided on a lot of different things, and one of those issues is the Second Amendment, and a lot of our people still have not understood that when that bell sounds and you don't have a tool in your hand to be able to join the ranks and fight, what are you going to do?
Right.
Are you going to wind up back on the plantation because you decided, oh, I don't need anything because that's what criminals use, or I don't need that because those are violent, those are deadly, those are dangerous. They are, but that's why you have organizations like myself and other firearms groups that will train you. They will help you understand how this is used to protect your life.
Yeah.
And as much as
One,
not much as I'm not sitting here trying to sell anybody on the Second Amendment, understand that you have the ability to use that Second Amendment
Right.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's the key phrase that most people forget: foreign and domestic. So,
and
good.
one thing, a history lesson that we need to remember is our sister and our ancestor, Ida B. Wells. And anybody who's really studied her, and a Winchester shall have a place of honor and above the fireplace. Today, a Winchester is an AR-15. That's
Yep.
that's what the equivalent is today. And I always tell
Exactly.
folks, I said, look, you don't like the sight of blood, right? No, I don't. Well, don't do you still have a first aid kit in your house? Well, of course I do. Yeah. You don't like the sight of a car accident, do you? No. But you still put your seatbelt on every time you put in a car, right?
Yep.
You don't like the fact of if you get in an accident that you're going to have to pay for it out of your pocket. No, I don't like that. Well, you have car insurance.
That's right.
The other part that people are forgetting about this too, and this is a good segue into it, with all these self-defense things going on, and there was just another one I became aware of today, in Virginia.
Yeah.
You heard about it, right? I'm sure you'll talk
I
about it.
just heard about it. I just heard about it.
Self-defense insurance.
Yes.
It's a lot of our people don't know about it. I've been involved with the Second Amendment since the mid to early '90s, since I became 21. I didn't
So
even know about it until before 2020. The
explain
concept of
to the people
self-defense
what's
insurance.
yeah. Go ahead. Explain to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. What it basically is, for basically a cup of coffee, a cheap coffee a day, 20 to 40 bucks a month, you're insured in case you have to defend yourself, just like car insurance. And there are folks we can connect you with who can come on and talk about the details of it. But basically, as soon as something happens, you call that number and say, I've been involved in a self-defense shooting, whether it be at your home, outside, or I've been involved in a stabbing, or I had to defend myself somehow. You automatically get assigned an attorney so that when you get arrested, and you will, especially if you're black and you defend yourself, you have access to that attorney right away, and you have the ability to mount a legal defense. And that's where a lot of our people lose, is they wait to do a GoFundMe when they get when they get jammed up. But by
Mhm.
that point, it's almost too late. If you can have insurance, I mean, 20 to 40 bucks a month. I mean, times are hard, but still, a lot of us waste $20 to $40 a day on absolute garbage. So 20 to 40 bucks by going to McDonald's or by eating stuff you're not supposed to eat or by doing things that you really are a complete waste of time. So imagine if every black gun owner had self-defense insurance. Now imagine we're put in positions where we have to defend ourselves more with everything going on. And there's a higher percentage of us that are gun owners than ever before. Now imagine now that when you get into that jury box, more of us have the ability to defend ourselves. Because not everybody, Ben Crump's not going to come to your rescue no matter what you think.
Right.
That's everybody. We don't have enough black attorneys out there to do it. However, with self-defense insurance, it literally could change the tide of what's going on, because these people get us because we don't have the resources to defend ourselves properly in the court of law. That's where most of us get jammed up. Not because we're guilty, because we don't have the resources. So I just highly encourage, go on YouTube and Google self-defense insurance, and a lot of things will come up. Certainly we can connect you with some other folks who can really talk to it. But again, when you go outside and you get in your car, you put on your seatbelt. You make sure you have your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance in case there's a fire or a hurricane. Why wouldn't you have self-defense insurance?
Right.
And while we're on the subject, because a lot of people have been mentioning Carmela Anthony, you mentioned the guy up in Virginia that just happened. I just interviewed today Maurice Bird, who up in Pennsylvania just was recently beat the case about a month ago. So we just, his story, y'all be hearing his story soon. But why do you think, and I know the answer, but how can we exert that self-defense if it's not giving us that right? You see the brother in Virginia, he's in jail now. When the kid, he felt that the kid was breaking in his door, and he protected his home. But Ralph Yarl, the 16-year-old guy who knocked on the guy's door at the wrong door, the old white guy just shot him, and it took forever to arrest him, or bring him to trial. So how can we exert that right when it's not being protected, if that makes sense?
A right not exercised is like a muscle atrophying. And those of us who have taken the solemn pledge and oath to stand on the front line in what we call the movement, and this encompasses not just us or not just what we do, but millions of black folks who have done this now and done this in the past.
Mm-hmm.
By defending yourself in that manner, it's almost as if you're taking one for the team.
Okay. I got it.
So if all of us take one for the team, pretty soon the team's the one doing it, and it'll turn. If you go back, X amount of years, how many black folks were, had their own businesses doing certain things? Well, if it was only a couple, that person took a lot of blows, and then pretty soon everybody else came along and it evened the playing field. Same thing would happen here. And in terms of equal treatment, it used to be that you couldn't walk down a sidewalk, and if you saw a white man, you had to get off the sidewalk. When my father got out of World War II, one of the biggest reasons he moved out of the South was they would march the German prisoners down the street, and he would have to get out of the way for the German prisoners. And he's like, I just was over there beating you guys. What do you mean I got to get out the way? But the point of what I'm saying is, eventually more people stood up to it, and it changed. Now, I don't get out the sidewalk for anybody when I'm walking down the sidewalk, but maybe a child and their family, because I'm being polite. You see what I'm getting at? You got to stand up for these things and not just say, well, who's going to do anything about it? I'm like, when are they going to do something about it? I'm like, who's this they you talk about?
Yeah.
What about you?
Who is they? I always ask people,
Right.
who is they?
Who is they?
Hey, and my brother Big Reaver, shout out to you, man. He asked how what can he do to support the movement. And with all due respect, these brothers truly trying to help our people keep the negative stuff that our people probably can't take it very serious. So appreciate that super chat. But yeah, so if like you said, like, I guess you can, get in contact with me and I get you in touch with the brothers if y'all, want to support the movement and things like that.
Um,
Go ahead.
sh-
Go ahead.
sh- what is the email to join? I forget it off the top of my head.
Yeah, if y'all tell me, I can put
it put in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat. And
Spiritual rising. If you're in the chat, spiritual rising, put it in the chat. Put the email to join in the chat.
Yeah, she's in there. I see you. What's up,
Okay.
spiritual
Okay.
rising?
Oh, Golden Lady.
Shout out
Golden
to
Lady.
everybody.
Golden.
Y'all for tuning in. I haven't done it live in a while, so if you're new to the channel, please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But yeah, back to the Carmelo Anthony and the situation with the the brother in Ohio. What do y'all think about those situations from a collective point of view? You got people saying, well, you got a whole different opinions. You got a lot of different opinions. So, you guys being who you are, what do you guys think about those particular situations? Those very.
I'll start with that situation in Ohio. I was very upset because I did not know that the young brother got shot. Excuse me, he got unalived until the officer was hit by the car. Then I found out the backstory. So I was like, why didn't I find out that the brother was unalived by the police officer? Why did it take that police officer getting hit before I found out about the real atrocity, which was the young brother getting unalived? What happened there? Can we find out what happened there? Because obviously that was there's a situation that happened that this young brother lost his life. So what happened, and where did it go? What kind of investigation was done? Because obviously the father or whoever didn't think that enough was done. He thought that his kid was wronged. So I want to know about that.
Yeah, my
What,
fault. I ain't mean, but I just noticed that while you're saying that's why I've been focusing on the child aspect, because now the focus has shifted to the father's actions. That's all you're hearing about is the father's actions and the officer's demise. But now, let's not forget about this. So that's why I've been keeping the focus on that part of it, because it's easy to go ahead and, move that. That's what you're being hearing most about now.
It's become so common that you hear, the headline, young black male unalived by white police officer. That's become a common headline in newspapers, on news, on social media, to the point where it's almost like the country has become numb to that, and nobody cares about that anymore. I still care about it, but mainstream media doesn't care about that. This law enforcement officer, he got unalived. Let's focus all our attention on that and the circumstances around that. No, let's talk about that young brother. What happened there? Just like the twins down in Georgia. What happened there? Why we can't find out no information about that?
Exactly.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So tight-lipped.
Yeah, let me just jump on this real quick. One of the things is just about being a Pan African, and also I want to reinforce this. We in war, okay? Our job is to protect our people, okay? Their young brother was run away, even like he was in a stolen vehicle. That's what they say, and they say he had a weapon in his hands. But their police officer have no right to decide if their brother can leave or is gonna be his last day on that specific day. So on this case, I'm just looking, well, when it's come by us, we had to justify, we had to, even like you guys saw their family, had to give the condolences for the officer's family. Okay. Right now, like, we don't have the time to figure out what happened, all this stuff. We had to make sure we had to protect our. If we in war, we don't have time to choose and pick it. Oh, they did this to us. No. Okay, I remember I was talking to one of the brother a few years ago. He said, if when the shit hit the fence, he said his neighbor, his Muzungu, told him, "I'm gonna come to your house and steal your shit. I'm gonna come to your house, steal your food, your chicken with the weapon." He said, "I'm gonna take everybody down because I need to eat. I need to feed my family." So right now, what we had to start looking because they are very confident and they feel good about these executive orders. I'm gonna tell you, they feel good about going after black people and just start taking their life. The way I'm looking, I mean, they feel very confident. I mean, for their officer, and now check this out. The police chief already called him for that penalty. He said the father
Yeah,
need to go on that penalty. Did you guys saw that?
Yeah, I
yeah.
heard it.
I
Did y'all
saw that
saw that?
today.
Okay, now you tell me who is the MF to decide that their young man, their brother, need to be taken away. His life got to be in. Who is this police officer to decide or to recommend that this black man got to be put on death? Think about this. Think about
Yeah.
this. So to me, they are very confident because somebody's backed them up. And this is why we cannot afford and we cannot allow. The way I'm looking is got to be the people from Cincinnati and across the 50 states. They got to be a huge presence to let the message or to send the message to these law enforcement. Even like the president signed all these executive orders, it doesn't mean you start acting like fool, start go over there chasing neighborhood, black neighborhood, and start taking people's life. We had to send a message, let them know, because everybody deserves to live.
Right.
Everybody.
You
I mean,
know,
if if they want to live, we want to live. They fight for their life. We fight for our life. They protect their family. We protect our family. They protect their community. We have to protect our community. If they take somebody down, we have to take somebody down too.
You got.
Definitely.
I'm going to say you got to realize what we need to do when one gets hurt, we all get hurt. We need to
That's
come
right.
together. When something happens, it all happens to all of us. It can't just be one sided. We got to all come together.
Yeah.
you see, you saw the
Go ahead.
I think she was a Ukrainian immigrant of all people who called the young autistic child the N word. You saw that, and she raised six
I
hundred
saw that.
thousand dollars for her
I
GoFundMe.
heard about it.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Mhm.
I
See,
saw that.
these people, even when they're dead wrong and they know they're dead wrong, they'll
Hmm.
still all come together.
That's right.
Even when they know they're wrong,
No, they wrong.
No, but
they
check this out, Commander Bishop. Did you saw the brother? That's the brother, conservative brother, came by one of the news, and he started questioning, where's this black kid's father? Where's their parents? What he was doing over there? Why he was over there by himself? He started throwing the brother, the little brother, under the bus. He did everything to disrespect the black race. He did everything. Another brother,
Everything.
we always gonna have somebody look like us.
You
when you
always got
We always
those.
gonna go ahead. I'm sorry.
You always got those that are beholden to to their master, and I ain't one of them. But there's always a couple of those that are beholden to their master, and will defend their master at all costs. But what we have to do is weed them out, move them out the picture, um, and we as a people need to come together. Other cultures come together
Right.
when in times of crisis, in time of need, whether it's the Latinos, the Asians, the Jews, whoever. Whenever there is something that affects their group of people, they come
Right.
together
That's
and
right.
they force it. They force a change. The problem with our people is we won't come together and force a change because the first question that's always asked is, well, who put you in charge? Shut up. Do you have a plan? If you don't have a plan, shut up and go with the rest of us.
That's
If you're
right.
not going to go with the rest of us, get out the way and don't try to stop us.
That's
And
right.
I'm sick and tired of our people who do that. It's stupid. It's counterproductive. It's not helping us get to where we need to go. If you have a plan, tell us the plan that you have. If you
Oh,
don't have a plan, shut your mouth and move out the way.
that's right.
Amen. 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 So I'm like I said, I know the audience, you know, I can't read all those questions. I know y'all got a lot of questions. Um, do y'all mind if I open up the phone line so people can call in and ask a
Yes,
Go
question?
ahead, do what you gotta do, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll answer them.
So the phone lines are open, but we gonna continue to talk. And I know a lot of people calling. I don't know if they're calling because they're watching the show. But if you guys have a question, you know, because there's a lot of questions in the chat and I can't keep up with all of them. Y'all see the number 919-587. Okay, there we go. Let's peace and blessings. You live on the air, but you gotta turn your TV down so I can hear you. Peace and blessings. Hey, can you hear me? Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Hey, sorry. I was trying to do a super chat, but it wasn't working. So there's this video I think might be interesting to them, and I would love it if they could react to it now. If you could pull it up on YouTube, it's by IUIC Rally, and the video is called "The FBI is Against Us." I mean, as soon as you start the video, it goes into some deep stuff of like declassified documents that they got access to, showing the agenda that the FBI has against us. And I think these brothers might be interested in seeing that.
All right. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, I'm not going to play the video. I think the brothers heard what you did. Y'all hear what the gentleman
Yeah.
said? All right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we're gonna let
yes,
them.
yeah.
That's us.
We are aware.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah,
against us.
yeah.
We got ourselves prepared. If you remember when we joined the NFAC, when we created the NFAC, we already know what we're gonna be deal with. We just prepare. We're not a in legal organization. We all discipline. We have the discipline, and we know exactly what is behind. Our main concern is to protect our community. If
That's
they
right.
got a problem with that, it's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
They've
Well, yeah, the
been
FBI.
trying to
Yeah,
they've
go
been
ahead.
trying to infiltrate. They've been trying to infiltrate us for a minute. We all know that the FBI doesn't like strong, strong-willed black people. That's been since J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover said that a long time ago. Charismatic black man that will come and lead the black people to where they need to go is what they want to prevent. They did it to Malcolm. They did it to Martin. They did it to Medgar Evers. They did it to everybody. They did the same thing to Jay. They said, "Oh, he's
Right.
getting a little too powerful. He's getting a little too much clout. People are following him. He put 5,000 people on the streets of Louisville, Kentucky, armed and ready to rock and roll. We can't have that." So the FBI, we already know the FBI is well versed on their operation to try to shut us down and oppress us, and they do it in not just with their laws. They do it on here on YouTube.
Yeah,
FBI's in YouTube. They do it covertly as well. You know, COINTELPRO has been the standard playbook for the longest time, and what we have to do is make sure that we understand what that playbook is and maneuver so that we're not affected by that playbook.
Right.
Amen. So we got another caller. Caller, you live on the air. Peace and blessings.
Yes. I want to know to the gentlemen, what are y'all going to do if black people continue to be lynched?
You know what?
Did I hear him say? Did I hear him say that right? I couldn't really tell what he said.
Still, what are y'all going to do if black people continue to be lynched?
Okay. Let me just jump on this comment corporate guest.
All right.
And
Thank you for the call, caller.
as I mentioned before, first of all, we need the black people. We need the help of the black people too. It doesn't matter if you're allowed to carry one or if you're not. We still got a place for you. This organization, what we build it, is for us. Don't just stay in the background on the backyard eating
That's
chicken.
right.
We need everybody. If you have a skill, you're a truck driver, you're a school teacher, you're in the medical field, you know how to former, I mean, whatever skill do you have, we're gonna need you. We're gonna need your donation because it's there, as I mentioned before. We're gonna need every single.
And we sitting here holding hands and singing Kumbaya and marching.
Yep.
Yeah, they already said they ain't about that though. Yeah, we
Yeah.
I ain't never seen
Yeah.
them as a
No.
march.
No, so and here's the thing real quick on them lynchings. All right. A lot of times, we don't hear about the lynchings until weeks after it happened. So when something happens in your neck of the woods, you need to reach out and say, "Hey, this is what's going on."
That's
If you
right.
hear
That's
from
what
one
we're
of
gonna
us and
do
say,
on that.
if you hear from one of us and say, "Hey, yeah, I understand this is what's going on in your neck of the woods. Can I get some more information? Because I'm not boots on the ground where you are. I need you to speak up and say, hey, this is what's going on." That way we can say, all right, we need to mobilize and get people to this place, that place, and this place, because we're not omnipresent. We are not the Most High. We're not everywhere at every time. So we need the help of those people. We can't have people just
Everybody.
stand on. We can't have people stand on the sideline saying, "Oh, well, I wish somebody would come do something." Pick up the
Yes.
phone,
No.
get on IG. You get on IG to take a picture of your food and post that. Why don't you get on IG and reach out to one of us and say, "Hey, this is
Yes.
what I see going on in my community. This
And
is
what
what I
can you
see."
guys do?
Yeah,
Where can
and
I
what
help
can be
you
done?
guys can provide to us?
Yeah,
And we're gonna
Thank you
include
for your call,
yourself.
Carl. Appreciate you.
Yes, you're gonna include yourself
All right, man.
because, like I mentioned, we need
I know
everybody.
it, but all right. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Hey,
Go ahead, General. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'd
Because
like to comment. Go ahead, General Hotsauce.
yeah, and this is the thing I'm looking, not just today, but even like when Supreme was out,
One
we had a
second.
lot of this
1 second.
conversation. Okay, go ahead.
But you gotta turn
We
your
had a
TV
lot.
down too.
We had a lot of this conversation. We don't want people just to wait around and say, "Hey, what are you guys gonna do?"
exactly.
We want you to be part of this because the war, when we say we're in war, is everybody. And Supreme used to tell us when the war starts, it doesn't matter if you're gonna be involved or if you want to be involved. You're gonna when they start hit your door and start hit your family, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to be part of this war. You're gonna be involved in this war. Don't just be sit down and wait for the NFAC come over there and help you out. No, this is for us, brothers and sisters.
That's right.
Come on now.
Because it's
Amen.
not a real
Can I
quick.
address
That's what
something?
we call for
Address something before
unification.
you.
Unification is everybody. We will
Hold,
not leave
hold
nobody
on,
behind.
hold on, real quick. Can I address something that I see in the chat in the chat before you take the next caller, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Appreciate you, Todd Williams, man. Appreciate y'all. And I appreciate everybody for joining in the chat. Make sure y'all like, share the video. I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Go ahead, Commander.
There's a question in the chat. Why haven't we gone on the offensive, and why are we playing defense? I'm going to say this because I don't know the person behind that comment or that statement. I don't know what they are, who they are, what they're about, or anything like that. But I'm going to put it to you like this, because I served time in the military, and I know the difference between offensive maneuvers and defensive maneuvers. So what I'm going to tell you is this: January 6th was an offensive maneuver, correct? Yes, it was. Was it done by our people? No, it was not. Had it been done by our people, do you think we would have got the same reaction out of the United States government as those people got? No.
Oh,
The reaction we would have got out of the United States government, had that been our people, would have been vastly different. They'd still be picking up people off the front of the Capitol lawn. So yes, we've been playing defense. We've been playing a lot of defense. Yes, because when you can't attack a fortified position if you are outgunned and outnumbered, unless everybody on your team is very well prepared and knows how to attack that. All right, I've seen it in the Marine Corps a lot. You can attack a fortified position with a smaller unit, but everybody has to be on one accord. We are not on one accord as a people. So attacking a fortified position, being outnumbered, being outmanned, is not smart. That's playing checkers. We don't play checkers. We play chess.
That's right.
So if you want to go out, in the blaze of glory, be my guest.
That's what I tell everybody. I gotta jump in too because people always say, "Well, yeah, you do this, and you do that. Won't you go up there and do this?" I said, "Okay, so if I go do that, who gonna pay my bill? Who gonna
Exactly.
take care of my daughter? Like, ain't
Exactly.
nobody going with me, so I'm not gonna be a crash dummy. If everybody
Exactly.
go, I'm right there on the front lines. But I like my brother said, why y'all ain't do this? Like, okay, why you ain't do it? You know what I'm
Why
saying?
can we do it? That's right.
Why you ain't take out the cops? See,
You go.
I don't feed into that because I know, okay, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna crash out by myself. If everybody else
Exactly.
crash out, we all gonna crash out.
Crash out together. Exactly.
That's right.
I want to
It's like,
crash out. I want to do it smart and tactfully. Like I'm not trying to
There you
run up
go.
on the White House with 100 of the NFAC and no, like I ain't got no wins. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly.
I ain't got no wins. I can't do it. So you gotta think like I don't feed into that. Like some of that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let me see what this caller say real quick. How you doing? You live?
Yeah.
I come right back to you, Corporal.
Go ahead.
Am I live? You can hear me?
Yeah, you live.
Okay. Hello, everyone. When I first heard that question, that's not what I started to come out with. But when I first heard that question, like, what are you going to do as far as not playing the defense and the offense instead of playing the offense? And Mr. Taylor explained that very intelligently because I'm going to tell you, I'm very emotional when it comes to all crimes, murders, and everything else. The media twist when it comes to the lives of our people. So as far as a content creator, number one, I can't express myself with the polish and professionalism because I'm truly opinionated and I'm truly emotional. Now, as far as that question, when asking, why not play the offense, I felt immediately it was a setup question, number one. Number two, I thought with reasoning, I surely do have the spirit where I could, without regret or remorse, go out here and do something individually. But what I thought about was everything I see on YouTube. I'm just going to be looking like the crash out dummy. I'm going to be hearing, or Black Coons is going to be up here talking about how stupid I was. So
all right, ma'am. I hate to interrupt you, but I mean, I thought you had a question. Like, we having a conversation with the panel. So if you have a question, please ask your question, sweetheart, because we don't got but limited time. Did you have a question?
Yes, absolutely. I'm in Dayton, Ohio. So, of course, I'm familiar with the Montgomery County Jail, Christian Black. I'm 40 minutes from Cincinnati. And my question was, do they have NFAC chapter here in Dayton where I can just speak with someone?
Thank you for your question, ma'am. Thank you for calling, too. Thank you. All right.
Can I respond to her question?
Yes, she's listening. She's listening.
You can email us at joinnfac@proton.me and join NFAC at proton.me. We have people in Ohio, and we'd be glad to talk to you.
Yeah.
All right. And what were you going to say, Lieutenant Commander, before I took that call? I said I was going to.
No, go ahead, because I just want to say to that sister right there, I'm glad that she understands that she can be emotional. A lot of our people don't understand that they can be emotional, and a lot of times, emotional reaction is not the best reaction, especially when you're dealing with the United States government, when you're dealing with law enforcement. Emotional reactions are not always the best reaction. So I applaud that sister for understanding where she is weak and where she needs to get stronger.
Okay. And we got to call
up. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody, we always say, what y'all going to do? What y'all going to do? But we need to learn as the people, what are we going to do? We got to come together. It can't just be y'all. It can't just be one person. We all have to come together because there's room for all of us. It's not just one position. There's room for all of us. That's all I want.
Thank you. So
And I would love to see the same vibe we put it for Captain Ibrahim Traore a few weeks ago. I would love for us over here in the United States put the same vibe. We got a supreme commander behind bars. He need that type of vibe. Please do not forget about him. We need to put all these vibes, together,
Right.
For their brother. Because remember, when they trying to negotiate with him, he said, if I had to go behind bars for my people, I will. And that's the time
Yeah.
he's doing right now. Okay. Thank
yep.
you.
Thank you. So caller, you live on air. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much for calling. Do you have a question for the brothers?
Peace and blessings to you all. What I want to say from my heart is I'm a 60-year-old elder, 60 plus. And I just want you all to know that you are warming my heart. You make me feel something that I haven't felt in a while. And that's a bit of safety and security, because we don't have that. And we're never going to have it if we don't come together. So I just wanted you to know that as you speak, know that everybody doesn't have a voice to talk to you, but we understand the situation. There are elders out here who understand, and we know what the mission is, that we have to go and get our people, and it can't just be one of us. So I wanted to say, money is one thing, that's no problem. But I wanted you to know that you are warming the hearts of many people, because we can't go against the system, just one of us. It has to become a group thing, just like what that young man is doing over in Africa. I'm going to get off the phone, but I love what you're doing. Please keep doing it. Go after all of us, and know that we old elders out here are watching.
Thank you so much. And I love you too, sweetheart. Thank you for tuning in, and feel free to reach out.
Sister.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. You're still young. You're still young. We still need the people, advisor. We got a place for you. The organization need you. We need you, sister. We love you. Thank you to come on board and reinforce to give nice some energy. It make me feel proud and feel good. Thank you, Queen.
Peace and blessings. You live on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yes, how everyone doing? I want to talk about explain like the coalition that was funded towards police officers by Ronald Reagan, and how they have it where it's set up to protect the government officials on the east side of the system. There are. And that's what I was going to talk about. And the thing about it is a lot of us not aware of it, to where we can get able to, let's say, disassemble.
All right. What was your question again? Because you said a lot there. So what was your particular question?
The question is like people ain't aware. A lot of people not aware. The coalition of attorneys and defense that was set up by Ronald Reagan to protect the police officers or to protect the officials on each side of the sector. We got to find a way to diminish that, to disable that.
Okay, thank you so much for your call, sister. I really appreciate that, and I think I'm gonna address that question or that subject. Thank you so much. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So she was talking about how something was set up by Ronald Reagan to protect the police. People right now are talking about Trump and qualified immunity. My answer to that is, when have police have not had qualified immunity? They've been knocking us off from the 1600s, the 1700s, the 1800s, the 1900s, and the 2000s. So I don't like when people put it in that perspective. Oh, yeah, because this, Trump wasn't president when Tamir Rice got shot. Obama was. He wasn't president when Mike Brown got shot and the officer got off. He wasn't president. All these other police things went. So what I want people to understand, this is not a particular president. This is the American way. This is the American system. Go all back to the Dred Scott. A black man has no rights that a white man is bound to respect. So considering the police was started out of the slave patrols, all the way back from 1600s. And this is a book that explains it all. Blue Lights in My Rearview. So I don't like when people blame one individual for the actions that we face in our community. That's all I had to say about that. And y'all can address it if y'all want to. But yeah, I don't like when people put one person in America as a reason why black people are being treated as such.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that and address it. White supremacy exists on both sides of the political spectrum. It exists through all presidencies. It's what the basis of this country was built on.
Mm-hmm.
This country's unique for a very particular reason. It's one of the only countries that there's actually a rule book to change things if you choose to do it. It's the only one. I mean, not that things don't change in other countries, they do, but they're typically through violence and bloodshed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can't get stuck on, oh, it's the Republicans, it's the Democrats, it's Trump, it's Bush, it's all of them.
Yeah.
Because under Obama, like all those things you just said, under that, a lot of that happened under Obama, and some of it was a reaction to him being president.
Yeah.
But it's again, it goes back to the question of what are we going to do? Not what is the NFAC going to do, or the people on this panel going to do? What are we going to do?
That's right.
Because I mean, it's yeah. When we talk a lot about the First and Second Amendment, we all got a soapbox to stand on. The Second Amendment, we those of us who can legally purchase firearms and bear them, we all have, that's the cartridge box. We all can do that. But you also have the ballot box. Who we put in. More of us need to run for these positions, starting at school board, going to city councilman. And then we have the jury box, and that goes back to your ability to defend yourself and change the law. So it's not just happening under one particular person. It's just becoming more obvious now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always been going on.
Yeah.
And if you look at our ancestors and how they changed things, there was a sacrifice that had to be made.
Yes.
And some sacrifice more than others, but at the end of the day, Frederick Douglass could have been, as a former slave and as smart as he was, he could have just worried about himself and probably been a millionaire up in Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He thought about those who he left, who were behind, and he put himself out there. Ida B. Wells did the same thing. And you could say whatever you want about these people, but they put the group before themselves.
Exactly.
And when it could be as simple as, when I went to Walmart last week, and as I was getting ready to cross the street from the parking lot to the Walmart, there was an older sister who was slowly walking with a cane. You know what I did? There was cars coming. I could have just thought about myself and went to Walmart and go get whatever I was going to get. I stopped in the middle of that street until she was able to get across, so that because these folks are being so bold about what they're doing. I didn't, you protect your elders and you protect those who are around you. Watch out for them. Watching out for people and keeping your eye on someone, knowing that you're doing it, will stop a lot of this stuff. Because a lot of these people do this stuff because they're allowed to get away with it because they're not being held accountable from before it ever even happens. I can't tell you how many times, when you see the police pull one of us over, drive past, pull over.
I stop. Yeah, I stop.
That's what I'm saying. Drive past and drive past them and pull over ahead of them so you can look back on them.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Do stop and see, look over and see what's going on.
That's right.
You don't interfere with whatever they're doing because it could be a legitimate investigation, but keep your eye on it. And then when they know that people are paying attention to them, they'll be like, I can't get away with it because more of us are paying attention to it, and I'll get held accountable.
Yes. One quote. I got this caller. Thank you for being patient, caller. You live, peace and blessings. Thanks for tuning in. You live on the air.
It's me. You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to chime in on it. I haven't heard of it from the NFAC for a while, so I was wondering was y'all brothers still around. So it's glad to see y'all still functioning and everything. But one of the things I want to speak on is the black community. It's like we're not going to rise up if we can't police ourselves. You know what I mean? We got to constantly keep calling them into our neighborhood because we can't get a handle on each other. Like, say, for instance, back in the day, they told me stop snitching. That was the way of stopping the police from coming to our neighborhood. But that ain't nothing but was controlled by a bunch of thugs. I mean, they want to terrorize the black community and keep the police out of the neighborhood by saying don't snitch. But that's one of the things we have to do. We have to learn how to police ourselves. And with that being said, and another thing that I want to say is, I really hardly believe that the black men, just like you see in the African village where all the men sit around in the village and they have a conversation without with the absence, not saying the women's not important, but the men need to come together because we are the leaders of our race. And we need to find a way as men to work this out. And like I said, these young black brothers just killing each other. We're making ourselves weaker by taking each other out. And they are doing that by you give a rapper a contract and he just spewing out subliminal message to the younger youth to kill and to destroy. So what is the way that you think that we need to come about on handling that?
Thank you for your question, sir.
On handling what? On handling rappers or
you said a whole lot of stuff. Like on handling what? Like, policing that. Okay. So you how can we police ourselves?
Yeah, I have a plan within myself, you know what I'm saying, how I think that we could go about doing it, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, it'd be nice if we could sit down and have a round table with men in the neighborhood and we can, like I said, have conversations about it. But there's no way where the black men are talking. I mean, you can't talk and have a conversation with black men.
you don't have to sit around and think about anything. Look at that community in in Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
Yeah, they just did it. They just came together and said we're not going to have this, that, and the third in our neighborhood, and we're going to do something about it. And that's what they did. The brothers that was legally allowed to carry firearms, they armed up, they strapped up, they got all tacked up, and they police their own neighborhoods now. Their own neighborhood now. And I applaud those brothers and sisters out there because they did exactly what Grandmaster Jay had been saying for a long time. Police your own neighborhood. You can do that. It is legal to police your own neighborhood. Are the cops going to still be rolling down the street? Yeah. Are they going to be more wary of the stuff that they do in that neighborhood because they see other armed people walking around making sure that everything is on par? Absolutely right. They're going to do that. Until they can find a legal way to get rid of you, there's nothing that they can do. So continue to do what it is that you want to do. Guess what? The white people, they go police their neighborhoods.
They do it.
Think about it. When 2020, the summer of 2020 happened, how many times did you see groups of white men protecting their neighborhoods with guns? And did the police say anything to them? No. Why can't we do the same? Why weren't we doing the same? Why weren't there groups of black men protecting? There were some sprinkled here and there, but why weren't there whole groups of black men protecting their neighborhoods with guns?
Appreciate your call, my brother. I got to let you go, but send me your text and I'll put your number in the phone. But yeah, he can listen, through the phone. But I definitely, set up something, or maybe we can have a man conference. But yeah, sort of like the brother said, like you don't have to, there's nothing to it but to do it. Get your brothers together, and the people with like mind, and just do that. But I certainly appreciate your call, brothers. Send me the text.
All right, Chief.
All right.
Yeah,
peace and blessings. Hold on. All right, hold on one quick. This is one of the brothers that's been called. He's from the NFAC too. Peace and blessings, brother. Hello?
Hey, shalom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, shalom, brother. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Shalom, comrades. Shalom, Falcon.
Shalom.
Once trying to get it off. Anyway, Indianapolis. Yeah, I you know, been real tunnel vision about Otha Wallace lately. You know, since the situation, you know, and when I hear about, you know, because you know I wasn't there Stone Mountain, you know, but I was there for Louisville twice. You know, I was Lafayette, Louisiana. I know I'm repeating some things to you, Richard, Mr. Taylor, but you know, it's you know, I someone like me that's not even supposed to be around firearms, you know. Not you know, I'm free now, you know, I'm not under no supervision now, you know. But you know, I just know a lot of the leadership, excuse my voice. I know a lot of the leadership that's out here these days, they just don't put their drawers on the same way that a lot of the, you know, and it's in Otha Wallace, we had $135,000 right now for Otha Wallace. You know, someone who refused to be a hashtag. You know, someone who's been neglected. As far as I'm concerned, just like our brother Spike, boots on ground, neglected. You know, flew from Arizona to. So anyway,
you kind of rambling. You got to get to your question because we about to wrap the show up. What's going on, my brother?
My question is how, you know, I don't care what spiritual, Israelite, Egyptologist, Islam, rock people sleeping under, whatever. How, you know, given that we got a brother and we only had $135,000, because I mean you can't see a picture with Grandmaster Jay that you don't see Otha Wallace, you know.
So basically, you go. Hold on, my brother. Hold on, my brother. Cause I don't. You sound like you got a little bit of animosity when you talking about this. So what you? Because I seen you put it in the chat, or maybe it's you, and you talked about Otha Wallace. So I'm gonna ask the brothers about Otha Wallace, but I appreciate you for calling in, and you got my number. We talk, all right, my brother.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Peace. Hey, come on, my brother. I said peace and blessing. We'll talk later, man. Let's keep the bad energy out the show. Yeah. So my brother wanted to know about, I guess, Otha Wallace. Was he a member of the NFAC? And you know, because I saw that in the chat earlier, and I wanted to ask about it. So what's going on with him? And I guess
I'm gonna say this. We love brother Otha Wallace. Yes, he was a member. He left on his own accord. He left NFAC on his own accord. There was no animosity with his leaving whatsoever, but he left. Whatever happened with his situation happened after he left the NFAC. So, so you know, I know that law enforcement tried to put that on NFAC, but we ain't had nothing to do with that whatsoever. And like I said, he had left NFAC, and Otha Wallace will tell you that himself. Yeah, he left NFAC way before that situation happened. Do we support him? Yes. Do we love him? Yes. He is still a brother in this fight. Have I personally given to his fund? Absolutely.
Yes.
But as far as, I mean, Sauce, please. What are your thoughts on Otha Wallace?
Yes. Thank you, brother. Thank you. He's still our brother. We love him. We support him. I myself donate. I work with him next. We work each other next. All the formation, Stone Mountain, Louisville. He's a good brother. He's a good soldier, man. He just got himself caught up in some BS. As Commander Corporal Kick-Ass mentioned, he went in his social media and he make an announcement that he will leave the organization. I mean, we don't have anything against him. I mean, he decided he want to leave, he want to go somewhere else. We respect the decision, but it doesn't mean we don't support him or we don't love him. He's a black brother behind bars. A lot of people, that was a controversial, that was a group who was created and think that the actual members from NFAC was not support him, but we don't have to tell people or to show to people when we donate money or when we support the brother. or we send a letter. We don't have to go over there in public and tell everybody, but we love the brother. I personally love the brother. I'm gonna tell you that that brother is somebody that we need in the community, but as much parts of the feeling Material Supreme left, he, like I say, he let his feeling got into his emotion, and
Right.
then he decided to go to social media, started making videos, against
Okay.
Supreme and against our creator,
Yeah,
beefing between him and Supreme. But he's a good brother. He's a good brother.
yeah, yes. I've never heard of him, so I can't attest to any of that. I think it might have been the same brother who brought him to my attention. But much love to the brother. I don't even know the situation. Evidently, he's behind the wall as well. So much love and peace to the brother. Peace and blessings. You live on the air.
297.
Yes. I had recently called. I was trying to, to all the people in the panel, where did the I fear for my life saying come from?
Thank you for the question, my brother. He says, where did peace and blessings? Thank you for calling. He said, where did I fear for my life saying come from?
That came out of police academies. That's part of the training in police academies. They are trained to say and to write it in their reports that I unalived this person because I feared for my life, and that was deemed a justifiable reason to unalive somebody. That came right out of the 1960s, 1970s police academy training handbooks. So that's where you still see that to this day is police always use that terminology. I feared for my life because that's what they're taught to do. That's how they're trained.
Yeah.
So their reports will include the words I feared for my life, then I took that shot.
Okay. And that's a good, and also the natural, that's what they've been using since slavery. What the big
right.
black back buck,
Yeah.
coming around, or so yeah, we've always been there. Peace and blessings, you live. Thanks for calling.
What's up, brothers? What's up, NFC? Hey, my name is Jamie. I'm out of South Carolina.
All right.
And I want to ask y'all a question. And I work construction, and I work like for a big company. And we have a lot of young black brothers and doing up the election. I have a lot of young guys that I was talking to. I'm 47 years old. Our young brothers, man, these guys are so lost. But how can we touch them? Because I'm working around a bunch of 24, 26, 27 years old young brothers that don't even look up to the OGs. Like where I came up from, and where I'm at in Charleston, OG tell you something, you take it in me. You take that, you learn from it. No, I'm talking to a lot of these young dudes at work. You know what I'm saying? And this rap thing, like I heard this rap thing got their mind so poison. And then we got this white guy that comes in, and whatever he say, he's a salesman, big time salesman. These young brothers, they look up to him, and I'm like telling them, like, yo, this dude right here talking to you, this is nonsense. And their mind is lost, really. I'm just,
So your basic question is, how can we reach? I can't let you ramble though.
How can we reach these dudes?
Yeah, I got you. Thank you for your call. So you said your basic question is, how can we reach the youth? So thank you for your.
No, they. I don't call them youth no more. I call them young men. They are.
What? Yeah, you.
They are lost. They are lost out here, bro. For real.
Yeah, we know that. Well, you asked the question on how to reach them, so let us answer it, my brother. But I certainly appreciate you for calling.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in on that first. Because that brother is
the phone lines are off, everybody, because we're gonna end the show, after these few comments.
Yeah, that brother is and I hope you can connect me with him because
which one?
The brother who just got off the phone.
Oh yeah,
because please get him my information,
yeah.
for a number of different reasons. But
Okay.
you got to go. Two things, and one of them, the last thing I'm about to say is very hard. The first thing is not so hard. You got to go to where they are, and let them talk to you and listen, because a lot of these young
Right.
folks, I think probably all of us on this program have black sons, or or have black nephews, and these children are getting so much information. These youth, excuse me, not children, are getting so much information that they're inundated. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have this fire hose of negative influences coming at us, and we're now in the third, fourth generation of these fatherless homes. But you got to go to these young men and where they are, be an example of what an upstanding man is. But the other thing, and this is my personal opinion from doing mentorship, don't sacrifice the lot for somebody that you can't save, because some of these people you can't save, and that's a hard thing to say. But then there's a whole bunch you can't. You gotta focus on them. You look at all of them, you try to help all of them, but at some point you've got to focus on the ones that you can save, and that breaks my heart to even say that. But I mean, from doing this, that's the analysis I've come to.
Definitely. So I think everybody, man, everybody who's called. I know I couldn't get every call, so I apologize for that. Hopefully we can do this again. I thank everybody in the chat who's commenting, all the super chats, all the likes and shares. And also I thank each of you brothers, Falcon, Commanders, Corporal Kickass, Commander Bishop, General Hot Sauce. I appreciate y'all for taking the time out, to give the people a little bit of in-depth knowledge of, the men behind the name, and so I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all. And so we're definitely going to do this again. Hopefully,
yes, sir.
We can get, a list of questions beforehand. So we might can do it like that next time. But, before y'all go, I'll let y'all, I guess kind of round it out. Okay. I got you. But yeah, before y'all go, I just asked you. Okay, matter of fact, but yeah. So before y'all go, if y'all want to lead the audience with something, either one of y'all can, go ahead, and then we'll close out.
Say something real quick here. Join NFAC at proton.me. PROTON.me. If you want to join, looking for information on how to join, that's how you get in touch with us. The official Grandmaster Jay, that is, and the NFAC 444. Those are your main sources of information. If you want to know about Grandmaster Jay's case, justiceforgmj.com. That's where you can go for that information. Understand there's fakes, fake news, fakes, phonies out here perpetrating like they are us, like they are Grandmaster Jay. The information that they're disseminating is false. It's bad information. Don't listen to it. If you want real information, go to people. My grandmom always said, go right to the horse's mouth. Don't ask Johnny and Joe. Go straight to the person who said whatever they said. Go to that person. All right. If you want to know the real information, we're more than happy to share some of the information with you.
Thank y'all.
Hold on. Real quick. It's time for us to get together as one people. Stop being this person, that person, this Hebrew Israelites, this group, the Christians, whatever. Just like Grandmaster Jay said, just be black. Let's get together and do this for our people and make things happen.
Amen. Appreciate you, Corporal. Lieutenant Corporal. Commander, Lieutenant Commander Corporal. All right. All right. Is anybody else? So General Hot Sauce, I see you.
Yes, let me go ahead and jump at this real quick. And I'm glad Commander Corporal Kickass touching that subject. The division is big. The unification got to be even bigger the division, because some of the folks they claim, well, I'm not black, or some of the folks say, oh, I'm Israel. Some of them, no, this nonsense is gonna have to stop. We're gonna come as one union, one family under the same umbrella. Everybody gonna respect each other. If you're Muslim, I'm Christian, whatever, we're gonna put this on the side. We got a work to do. We got a mission. We got a lot of work to do. Okay. So, and we don't want to just wait. Another thing I want to mention, you don't wait till something happen to your loved one and then you want to try and get hold of us. No, you had to be involved. Whether you can care or you don't, you got to be involved. You call your friends, you see what's going on in your neighborhood, who's come to your neighborhood, who's destroying your neighborhood, call somebody. Okay, we don't mind. We got a information department that you can be part of that. Report, tell something, somebody come over this. It is a space. We got a place for every single melanated in the
That's
organization.
right.
Thank you, brother.
Mm.
Thank you.
All
Now,
right.
I want to say something real quick. Let's all come together, people. You know, we've been divided for over 400 years, and still we doing the same thing. It's time for us to unite and come together and to organize. You know, when I forgot the kid's name, but he shot some people up in Wisconsin during the riots. Don't you know they took him to Burger King? And they raised $2 million for that boy in 2 hours, 3 hours.
Oh yeah,
House.
yeah. You
Kyle
right.
Rittenhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can do it. We got the person, we got the people that can do it. We just got to quit worrying about who's ahead of us. Well, I want to be a chief. It got to be room for chiefs and room for Indians. We all got to come together. All
Amen.
right.
Amen. Last but not least, Commander Bishop, you got anything you want to leave before we go?
Thank you for giving us this opportunity in this panel. And prayerfully, this isn't the last time. And again, anybody with any questions, concerns, whatever they are, you think we could do something better, you got ideas, reach out. All of us are professionals. And I don't say that in any sarcasm. All of us are professionals in what we do,
Right.
not only here, but in what we do in our professional lives. You know, there's nothing that cannot be improved. But come on out and join us. And it's not, it's everybody. It's got to be everybody. And even if you're not on the street, be behind with a bottle of water, be behind with a first aid kit, be behind with some funds for support for the brothers that were mentioned that are behind the wall who have made some serious sacrifices. Support them. And one of the callers called and pointed that out.
Amen. Amen. So yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. And like I said, I'm pretty sure we're gonna do this again. Once again, much love to all of you in the chat. Like I would try to call y'all names, but there's so many names. But I definitely like I appreciate, y'all joining this chat. This y'all first time. Once again, I hope y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, man. We're gonna be doing more. And once again, shout out to the brothers of the NFAC and all that they do in the community and your knowledge of, bringing unity and especially that Second Amendment rights and, all the knowledge that you have and all the work that you've done in the community as well. So definitely salute y'all. Until next time, y'all check us out. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Peace and blessings. Thank y'all for joining.
Yes.
Shalom.
Who left that fast? Everybody